One of the most fun things that you can do in school is having slumber parties with your friends. Having them come over to your house was already really exciting, but there was something extra fun about still being together when it was dark. Everything just seems funnier at night for some reason. The times where we would badly sing karaoke together, do zoomies around the place on our Heelys. I'd show them my culinary expertise at dinner, discuss how we were going to achieve world domination, just all the regular slumber party activities. It was great. The first sleepover that I ever had was when I was about 8 years old. It was with a friend who actually lived on the same street as me, so not too far from home. I remember I was so excited for my first sleepover that I literally packed an entire suitcase, even though it was only for one night. My friend even had a bunk bed in her room. I love bunk beds. We had so much fun together all day, and then as soon as it was time for us to go to sleep, of course I was really excited for that too. But once I was snuggled up in bed and ready to end the day, there was a problem. I could not sleep. My friend was already long asleep by that point, and I was just lying there in the dark, wanting nothing more but to also be asleep. And then finally, I gave up. It was around midnight at this point. I climbed out of bed, repacked my little suitcase, and dragged it back down the stairs. Yeah, I have no idea how I didn't wake her and her family up. I walked out of the house and headed home by myself in the dark. I know, this was so stupid. A little kid walking around outside in the dark by themselves. I didn't tell anyone in her family that I was leaving because I didn't want to wake them up. It wasn't just that time either. It was always hard to fall asleep in other people's houses. The amount of times where I would wake up early the next morning and my friends would still be asleep, so I would just stay lying in bed staring at the ceiling and waiting for them to wake up. It was really boring. Luckily, my friends weren't into doing any scary challenges or dares because I am the easiest person to scare that I have ever known. That being said, there was one time where I was the one who scared my friends. Although it wasn't intentional. Let me explain. At this one slumber party that I went to, I was pretty sleepy that day, so I was one of the first of us to go to bed. This was one of those rare times where I actually slept decently at a sleepover, and I woke up feeling pretty refreshed. So when I said good morning to my friends, I could not believe the story that they had to tell me. During the night, when they'd been sitting in the little living area together watching a movie, apparently I came walking out of the bedroom. Oh hey, you can't sleep? But I didn't answer. Apparently, I picked up a packet of tissues off the hallway table, looked over at my friends, and shook my head. And then I put the tissues back down and walked back to bed. Yeah, I was sleepwalking. Unsurprisingly, this really creeped my friends out, and they said that they kinda just sat there in shock while the whole thing happened. As far as I know, this is the only time that I've ever sleepwalked. So you can imagine my shock hearing this story. Okay, but to be honest, I did also find it very funny. One of my favorite slumber party experiences that I had was one summer where I met my friends on the beach one night, and we just stayed out there hanging out and going swimming. Except I didn't really swim all that much because the ocean is scary. We stayed at the beach till about 2 or 3 in the morning, and then when we got sleepy, we walked back to my friend's house. Since there wasn't enough space for everyone inside, all of us fell asleep on the sunbeds in her backyard. Since mosquitoes are a thing, I pretty much turned into a worm in my blanket to stay fully covered. That time I was also the first person to wake up, probably because of how bright it was outside. But at least that time there was a dog I could hang out with. Yeah, anytime I go to someone's house and they have a dog, I can guarantee that you will always find me wherever the dog is. A lot of the guys in school would wonder what we would get up to at sleepovers. I think they were mostly wondering if we would talk about them. But no, we would mostly just snack a lot and stay up as late as possible. If you guys have any slumber party stories you want to share, leave me a comment telling me. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe and turn the bell notifications on to all so that you don't miss out on my next storytime video. I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye!